Well, if you don't know much about me and this is your first time tuning into a video, my name is Sunny Singh. I've been in the mortgage industry for over 21 years. I grew up in the Bay Area, California, the best place to grow up when I grew up there. And now I work, I live, and I play in Placer County, still in California for now. But if you really want to know why I got into this industry, it wasn't simply because, oh, I love to see the smiles on first-time home buyers' faces and the look on their faces when they, obtain the American dream. As much as that is somewhat true, that wasn't my main focus into getting this career. I got into this career because I don't trust a lot of people. I grew up in a way, and you can watch a video from before on how I grew up in a way where I just don't really trust a lot of people. And this is an industry where it's math-based, and math is numbers, and the numbers don't lie. So now that you know about that and we've done our intro, let's talk about this video. In this video, I'm going to share with you my opinion on what aging out looks and feels like. So if you're a first-time buyer, a homeowner watching this video, or somebody just thinking about getting into real estate watching this video, let me share something with you again as my opinion. There's a lot of sales, there's not very much advice. It sucks. I know that sounds like a generalized, blanketed statement, but it's true. I mean, I can say that. I've been doing this for 21 years. What I mean by that is, go talk to a real estate agent. Don't tell them you watched this video. Don't give them any preface. And just ask them, is it a good time to buy? Ask another one if it's a good time to sell. And see what response you get. If it was multiple choice, let me share with you the responses you might see. A, you might get someone who really isn't crafted in their scripting. So they're going to speak to you and fumble. It's going to look something like this. Yeah, it's always a good time to buy depending on your situation or blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's a good time to sell because, if you can make some money and, I believe, they're going to say something and it's going to be really rocky and it's really going to be jittery and they haven't had a lot of training and they probably do it part-time and they got their license to help themselves with real estate or thinking that it could be a lucrative career, but they really haven't lifted off yet. B, it might be someone who is very well scripted and they are a professional and they have been doing this a while. And they're going to say something to the fact of, yes, it's an awesome time to sell. The inventory is low, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to give maybe one or two or three statistics or, things that sound good. I don't want to say facts, things that sound good that'll actually, leave you with, in thought thinking, yeah, you know what, this person knows what they're talking about. The flip side of that, yeah, it's a great time to buy because building wealth, I always believe that buying real estate, they might say something like that, again, very well scripted. And again, it'll come with 2 to 3, items that are backing it up, whether it's stat-based or not. Maybe it's C. They're just going to feel and make you feel like the sales script that it is. They're going to tell you on one side of their mouth that it's a good time to sell, and on the other side of the mouth, a good time to buy. Now, if you are a professional watching this and you're about to roast me in the comments down below, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about those agents who completely are in this business, those lenders, those escrow officers that are completely in this industry just because they want to make a buck. They want to see their pipeline grow at any cost. They're in sales, okay? That's one thing that's majorly wrong with real estate and mortgage. It's commission-based, incentive-based advice. Think about that. It's incentive-based advice. Someone is getting incentivized to give you advice. So you have to count on their moral compass and their scruples that they're going to actually come through with something real. So now that we got that out of the way, let me tell you my opinion. I think right now is an absolute tough time to buy. It's actually a terrible time for a first-time home buyer to buy. So as you're watching this upload, with the sake of me losing my reputation with my real estate agent partners, with the sake of, me losing credibility with home buyers that I've pre-approved, which I'm not because I tell them the truth, okay? And there's no halo here. I'm not a saint. I just love math. The numbers don't lie. So if this was, where are we at right now? In California right now, and I would say probably in most states right now, interest rates are very high. Right now, as we're shooting this video, rates are, Matt, what are they in? Like they're in the 7s, okay? And for anybody that's about to make an appeal to me in the comments and say, I remember when rates were 10%, you also bought that house for like 80 grand, grandpa. Okay. You also bought that decades ago, generations ago, and good for you. And you're probably a baby boomer that's going to get saved by selling your home because it's the only asset you've earned that actually has equity appreciation in it. You most likely didn't sock away money. That's why the folks in our country are paycheck to paycheck. But I digress. I risk a lot telling you the truth. I risk my partners that I've worked years to in relationship with to obtain referrals from. You know, a real estate agent says, hey, I trust Sunny. I'm going to send him a buyer. They could watch this and say, oh man, this guy's just going to tell the hard future paycheck that I've been working on, this buyer, he might tell them that it's not a good time to buy. Well, Sunny, why is it not a good time to buy? Why are you taking that as your stance? Why are you having a backbone and standing up and saying it's not a good time to buy? Well, here's why. If rates were going up and affordability went down on a home, the housing prices would come down. But that's not happening. It wants to happen oh so bad, but it can't. And the reason it can't is because we don't have a lot of supply, but we have the same amount of demand. Actually, the demand's decreased in comparison to a normal market. However, that demand is still there, and there's such a shortage of homes for sale. So that demand looks like it's a bigger demand than what it is. Oh, we have pent up demand. No, we have the same amount of buyers that we did last year, maybe less, probably 20% less. But there's probably 50%, 60% less homes for sale. Well, Sunny, why do we have less homes for sale? Because everybody, you, your cousin, your grandma got a 2%, 3%, 1% rate during COVID. So even if they hate the home, even if they don't like their neighbor, even if they know their house needs a ton of work and they're just like, oh, I'm sick of this house, they're landlocked. They're like, I don't want to move. FOMO, fear of missing out. I don't want to move because I'll never see this rate again. And they're probably right. No one can say that. I can't say that. There might be COVID Part 9 in 10 years from now that makes rates 0.5%. But the fact is, right now, a lot of people are sitting on their homes. They don't want to sell them because they're affordable. And worst case scenario, they're rent it out. So those that are selling are needs sellers. They have a need to sell. They already found a home that they really like and they need the equity from this house that they sell to launch pad into that house. And it's going to be oh so affordable for them because they're going to put a chunk down. Can you imagine that scenario? Someone put 3% down on a home. Fast forward 5 years later, they've paid principal and interest the entire time. And now that house has tripled in value. Thank you, California real estate. And now that it's tripled in value, they're using that to put a hefty down payment down on another home. Or maybe they're getting divorced, or maybe someone died, or maybe, fill in the blank here with what need they have or what reason they have, but they have a good reason. Maybe they're going through a hardship. Maybe they're going through, they just want to get out of state. We're seeing a lot of that. They're moving to a more affordable state. So that's what's happening. So if you're a home buyer watching this and you're like, I just want to get the real, I don't want someone to just put content out there to obtain me as a lead in the top of their funnel and potentially do business with them. Look, I'd love to do business with you. I would. But it has to be the right buyer. You have to win at acquisition right now. That means you have to win at the buy. So if you're watching someone else's video and they've been telling you, marry the home, date the rate, how's that working out for you? How's that working out for you? Because they were saying that when rates went to 4, to 5, to 6, and now we're at the 7s, and you still haven't been able to refinance. Your property may have gained some steam, and it's probably going to gain some more steam once rates drop, because there's going to be a knee-jerk reaction in the marketplace that'll make equities fakely rise again. But gosh, we should all be scared right now. We should all be like, whoa, what's going on? And the only way housing prices will come down, the 3 top ways that I can think of, is if there's a major job market crisis, where everyone's getting laid off and it's like 07 again. Okay. The second way would be if we got into so much debt and the average consumer just said, screw it, and started walking away from their homes again. Right. And the third would be if we went to war. So there's other ways, but these are the 3 top reasons I think that would possibly cause calamity in the marketplace and for a shit ton of people to put their houses for sale, houses to be so non-competitive anymore because there's more inventory, and that would bring the housing market actually down. And then, yeah, if you could win at the buy, then yeah, taking an 8% or 7.5% or 7% rate would make sense. I hope you enjoyed this negative video that was shot on a Friday as much as I did. But if you want the real, continue, follow, subscribe, do what you want to do. I could care less. You want to follow, you want to subscribe, great. But if you do, that'd be great. Love you support our channel.